Disney music isn't just background. It's the soul, the heart, and the very pulse of the story. It's where a hero's passion soars, and where the villain's gluttony burns, and where the deepest emotions connect us all. I've talked about this a lot, even though I'm no expert on instruments, motifs, or theory, where I just feel it. The way a song hits you right in the heart, making the story click in a way that words alone never could. Where without this musical core, most Disney tales lose their magic and their truth. Sure, you don't need songs to make a masterpiece, just look recently with Zootopia 2 exploding to become the highest grossing Disney animated film of all time with over $1.7 billion, where it's a massive success without leading on any music or Broadway style numbers. But even there, music still plays a key role in the vibe and the heart, and there still is a song that's involved in the plot. And for what most people know about Disney overall, and the classics that made the Renaissance, the songs are everything. And I've praised all of them before. Anyone who knows me knows this. Part of Your World is the pinnacle of the I Want song, the pure enchanting wonder that Ariel has gazing up for her grotto, dreaming of legs and a whole new world. It's timeless, full of hope and charm, where it's the point of guiding what a hero wants, what the story is really about through that one theme of the song. Others from along the way, with like When Will My Life Begin, captures Rapunzel's bubbly frustration in her tower, that repetitive energy building towards real longing. How Far I'll Go is the power of self-determination. Moana's call to the ocean, defiant and empowering. Almost There has Tiana's jazzy determination, visuals bursting out in this dream sequence of what she wants as a worker, where all of it represents incredible self-determination of your spirit, where your life should go, where it leads. And these are, in fact, the best of the best. I used to rank them higher, putting Out There outside my top 10 because I love their heart, their visuals, and their optimism. But I was wrong. Something nagged at me to go back, to really listen. And now, Out There from Hunchback of Notre Dame isn't just great, it's actually number one, the true top of Disney music. Not because it's the catchiest or most fun, but because it's the deepest, the most tragic, and the most honest about humanity's flaws. It captures villains and heroes singing in tandem, the light and dark, all in the same soul, the monster and the man intertwined. Because no other I Want song, not even the Pinnacles, digs this raw into what it means to yearn for basic belonging, poisoned by cruelty, yet still choosing kindness. Like growing from now and when I did all my videos, I regret ranking it number 11, putting it below all the top 10 that I listed. That was beneath me when something like this exists. And that's why this video today exists, to show why Out There is Disney's musical masterpiece. Where of course, this isn't talking about one song, no, because I can't really stop talking about Hunchback overall because it's one of the best ever, where I will be focusing on the core main songs when it comes to Bells of Notre Dame, Out There as the I Want piece, and Hellfire fused within Heaven's Light. These all dominate the motifs, the tolling bells and judgment of Sanctuary, the soaring ascent of longing, and the burning torment of sin. Most breakdowns already spot Hellfire as the ultimate villain song, and it is, but I want to frame it through Quasi's lens as the dark mirror to his I Want. The shared humanity through the hero and villain that proves it isn't who the monster or the man is, but what the choices we make determine as such. The rest, Topsy-Turvy's chaos, God Help the Outcast, A Guy Like You's comic relief, we'll touch on for character, but these three are the heartbeat. Because Out There isn't just a song, an I Want song nonetheless. It's the profound truth of Disney music, or the music of the soul of humanity. And let's start where I used to start every time when I talk about every Disney I Want song, where of course, we all have to say it's Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. That song still is the pinnacle, the true number one, the blueprint for what an I Want song should be, because Howard Ashman still wrote the lyrics and directed it like pure theater. He treated it as acting, not just singing for singing's sake, but actually doing it within the mood and the tone of the story. It's all driven through that story. Ariel sits in her grotto surrounded by her human treasures and pours out the soul in the rhythm that's conversational, building from quiet wonder to desperate longing. The verses feel like inner monologue, the chorus explodes with hope, and it becomes clever, specific, and emotional. You root for her immediately in that scene because it's the heroine's inner diary, making the audience fall in love and cheer for her journey the rest of the film. And it is the motif because that is the goal. The formula, sit down, sing your dream, win hearts, satisfied most Disney stories for decades, and it still holds true as that gold standard, because you're not just just singing a song, you're telling that story through that song. You're speaking the objective of the film with that very start point. Other great ones that follow that spirit but add their own flavor involve things like How Far I'll Go from Moana, striking at the heart, empowering, being selfless about her character. Moana isn't just dreaming for herself, she's called to save her people, her island, her legacy. Of course, I have to mention that second because of course this was number 2 on my list and still is a personal favorite, where the beat builds like ocean waves, lyrics pulse with determination and sacrifice, turning into personal longing into something bigger and heroic. When Will My Life Begin from Tango captures the same tower-trapped frustration, Rapunzel's repetitive chores, her bubbly energy exploding into the usual morning lineup. It's relatable, fun, and hopeful, where Tangled and Hunchback do parallel the most in many ways. Isolated kids in towers, controlling guardians, yearning for that world below, where both have that one day to see it all ache. But here's where the Hunchback does something profound. It questions the entire formula of the Disney I Want songs, both past and present. While most are solo declarations of self, I want adventure, I want freedom, I want to be part of that world, out there is instead the raw truth of humanity's nature. We cannot be alone. Quasi doesn't dream of power, romance, or destiny. He just wants one day to be content among the people, just to live one day out there. He's willing to go back inside forever after that single glimpse of normalcy, of belonging, where it is the smallest, most modest wish imaginable. Yet it's devastating because it's poisoned from the start. He knows from this belief his entire life that the world will reject him as a monster. And why? Because of Frollo. Because what sets this all apart is the fact that the villain is involved in this I Want song. Right into the song at the very start, Frollo actually starts singing it. You know, when you go through the chorus of the world is cruel, the world is wicked, stay in here, drilling in that fear and self-hate into Quasi. Quasi echoes those very insults back, from him projecting outward to him going inward, like saying I am deformed and I am a monster, showing how deeply this abuse has rooted. Then Frollo leaves and Quasi breaks into free hope song. It's not a pure solo song like in Ariel or Moana's case, or even Rapunzel's. It's a duet where the oppressor shapes the dream before the dreamer even claims it. The rhythm shifts from dark, slow minor key controlling to soaring key ascent, but the ball keeps rolling, reminding us that the cage is always there. This ties us back to the bells of Notre Dame, the thematic intro that rings into the monster and man riddle that sets the moral tone for the whole film. The bells motif echo into Out There, linking Quasi's longing into judgment, sanctuary, and fate. Most I Want songs let the hero dream freely. Here, the dream is tainted by the villain's voice, making the yearning feel tragic and real. Like again, the villain is there personally to actually begin the chain instead of, talking as they normally would. No, they sing through it to echo back into the character. It questions the formula like this. What if the I Want isn't empowering self-discovery, but a desperate plea for basic humanity? What if the hero's wish is so humble that it hurts? Past Disney songs satisfy with hope and charm, but the Hunchback confronts us with truth, isolation, internalized hate, and the ache of being othered. We'll dive deeper into that duet section next, how Frollo and Quasi literally cannot express their desires without being in tandem, one voice crushing the other until one of it breaks free. But for now, know this. Out There isn't just better than the classics, it redefines what an I Want can be. Profound, painful, and just simply human. But now let's talk about something very important. Disney duets. Disney duets are magic for a reason. They capture that mystical quality that makes you believe in love, in the world, and daring to dream bigger than your own little corner. Think songs like A Whole New World. Aladdin and Jasmine are soaring on a magic carpet, sharing the highs of discovery with a thrilling chase just for you and me. It's pure escapism, harmony in every note, making us feel that everything is possible when two hearts align. Or something there from Beauty and the Beast, Belle and the Beast's inner monologue weaving together. There's something sweet and kind, I wonder why I didn't see that there before. It's subtle, vulnerable, building from suspicion to realization within their own minds. The same in At Last I See the Light from Tangled, with Rapunzel and Flynn on the boat, the lanterns glowing, and at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted, that their true dream was right in front of each other all along. These Disney songs are the most romantic. They celebrate connection, mutual wonder, and the belief that love opens doors and changes everything. Where speaking of that, that's where this twist comes in, with Love is an Open Door from Frozen. It's fun, upbeat, finishing each other's sandwiches, aligning with mental sync, and saying goodbye to past pain. On the surface, it's classic romantic joy. But as we all know, with the undertone now, Hans is the villain, faking it for power. The song retroactively becomes manipulative, his selfish desire hidden beyond charm. It's clever when you get the bigger picture, but the twist still wasn't fully earned in the build-up. Hans still felt like that sudden plot device, and the song stays mostly light and romantic even in hindsight. No real darkness bleeds through in the moment. But if you look at Out There, it flips that entire script. This isn't a romantic duet lifting two people up. It's a villain-hero duet where the I want is shattered, conflicted, and brutal. Frollo and Quasimodo literally cannot express their desires without being in tandem, one mocking human nature and the other yearning for it. Again, when we break down these lyrics, we see these two things. When Frollo begins his verse, he frames humanity as a disgusting pile of sin, deformed, ugly, reviling monsters. His I want is isolation. Keep Quasi hidden, dependent on him, safe from betrayal he believes is inevitable. It's not about Quasi's safety, it's Frollo's opinions about the world as irredeemable, full of monsters who would destroy anything pure. And technically, he's not wrong about that. Quasi, in this moment, actually echoes it back, internalizing that hate. The call and response shows abuse at work. Quasi parrots the poison, his self-worth is shattered, but then Frollo leaves, and then Quasi breaks free. Quasimodo's I want part of this song is pure praise for humanity, not despite its flaws, but because of its ordinary, everyday beauty. If we look at the lyrics, he does not want to conquer or escape forever compared to those other heroes, but he just wants to be a part of them, even just for one day. It's not about me, self-empowerment like most other I Want songs, it's about them. It's about you, the people who are watching this video right now and the people below, living unaware of how precious normalcy is. His longing is selfless, humble, and heartbreaking. Compare that to the closest parallel, Mother Knows Best Entangled. Gothel does sing a song similar in a controlling villain like Frollo, but in the context of Mother Knows Best, listen to your mother, it's a scary world out there, warning of the dangers, thorns, men with pointy teeth, but Rapunzel doesn't sing back in real time. She interjects lightly or continues her own routine. Gothel's fear here is selfish. The world is dangerous for her because Rapunzel leaving threatens her own youth and beauty. It's my ways versus your freedom. Frollo, on the other hand, his is broader, colder. Humanity itself is wicked, sinful, and monstrous. Quasi's response isn't I want my freedom, it's just I want to see them one day, feel what it's like to be ordinary. It's not about me, it's about them. The duet nature makes it profound. Villain and hero perspectives clashing in one song, attacking and praising human nature at once, and both sides aren't wrong in thinking that way. And this is why Out There questions Disney's duet formula both past and present. Romantic ones build harmony and belief in love. This one builds tension and release through opposition. The villain crushes, the hero defies. It's not about uplifting connection, it's about the tragic ache of wanting connection despite knowing how cruel the world can be. And in that clash, we see the film's truth. Humanity is both the monster and the man, but the choice decides which path we will take. And that is the core theme of the film. And as we'll talk about, you see how that duality continues throughout the entire film. Same tracks fused into one character. Because what you notice here, and what is in no other Disney film to date, is that the villain cannot sing without the hero, and the hero cannot sing without the villain. Their nature is symbiotic. The story cannot be told as is without that fusion. In most Disney movies, characters get their own space. Heroes have the pure I want solos, and the villains have the boastful I am evil solos. Even when they're in the same scene, the songs stay separate. Take The Little Mermaid for instance. Ursula sings Poor Unfortunate Souls where she's manipulating Ariel, and Ariel just listens and reacts. But Ursula's villainy is her own spotlight, it's still her own song. Entangled, like I said earlier, Gothel belts Mother Knows Best, solo gaslighting Rapunzel who interjects or continues that same routine but doesn't do it in real time. Even in Frozen, Hans and Anna share Love is an Open Door as a simple, joyful duet, but his villain is hidden, he gets no dark fused mirror in the song with Anna. Villains sing their schemes alone, and heroes dream alone. But the Hunchback never allows that separation at all. It's neither a pure I want hero song or I am the villain boast. It's always I want versus I don't want, coexisting in the same breath, the same track, and the same sentence. Their desires clash and define each other. They are one and they are two. The symbiosis here, as we've seen, starts in Out There. Frollo controls the story to stay in here, the world is cruel, directly into Quasi's hopeful Out There just to live one day. Quasi's dream is shaped by that and poisoned by Frollo's worldview. One mocks humanity as deformed and the other praises as ordinary and beautiful. They sing in tandem, call and response, until Quasi breaks free from that moment. But even then, the villain echo lingers into his own self-doubt. It explodes into songs like Heaven's Light and Hellfire as we see. And as you'll notice, it's officially fused into one track on the soundtrack, and there's no clean break. They are not two separate songs, I mean they are, but they are in one track. Quasi's tender Heaven's Light is pure and hopeful for Esmeralda, where Frollo's Hellfire is self-damning. This whole sequence is about the same woman inspiring salvation in one, and and sin in another. As we will talk about, their I wants are mirrors. One is selfless and redemptive, the other is possessive and destructive. And Clopin's role in this is chaotic neutral as the narrator to frame this perfectly from the start. Because as we'll see in his songs in the Bells of Notre Dame, he poses the riddle, who is the monster and who is the man. He's not picking sides, he's making you, the viewer, question because he knows more than anyone. He's the spirited storyteller who sees the full picture, humanity's duality baked into the same soul. His songs are necessary, fun, pointed, thematic glue, unlike the Gargo's A Guy Like You, which feels detestable and unnecessary comic filler. Clopin's chaotic energy ties everything together within Quasi and Frollo. In Topsy Turvy, he deliberately crowns Quasi as the king of fools. Today we turn everything upside down, tempting Quasi to step in out there after hearing his longing. It's a celebration with a cruel edge. Clopin disappears when it turns ugly, but he orchestrated the test and deliberately in the scenes placed him on top. His lyrics were subtly about Quasimodo, and in The Court of Miracles, his other song, it's the reverse. Well, 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 you found us, but you won't live to tell the tale. In that scene, he mocks Frollo, judge, jury, executioner in that song and actually displays himself as such, where he says, why didn't they say so, while almost hanging Quasi and Phoebus just for fun, until Esmeralda intervenes, where this is survival mode. In order to survive, the people must play fair in the system, knowing that Frollo will still hunt them down anyway. It's a fun scene because he does know who they are and still almost did it and said it sarcastically at the end to the audience because he knows the truth and literally could have actually done something more successful than Frollo ever did in the entire film. But the point of mentioning these songs is that they connect thematically. Topsy Turvy tempts Quasimodo towards the surface, and The Court of Miracles mocks Frollo's hypocrisy and warns of the consequence. Clopin knows too much and goes along with the chaos, and ties villain and hero and their fates together. This detour matters because it leads into the middle core. After Esmeralda's humble God help the outcast, we hit Heaven's Light and Hellfire, the ultimate fusion. The riddle Clopin poses is playing out in real time in this middle part of the film. Two men, one desire, and opposite choices. One chooses his savior and the other chooses torment. Because when you realize it, the symbiosis isn't just musical, it's the film's moral engine. No other Disney film dares this level of inseparability. Villains and heroes stay solo or harmonize in love, where here they are bound. Light and dark are done in the same song, because humanity itself is bound that way. This is the real truth that Out There unlocks. And moving in, of course, has to give us to the greatest moment in any Disney film. Because what makes Heaven's Light and Hellfire the main core of the film and one of the greatest sequences in Disney history is how it crystallizes everything we've built to, the monster and man riddle and the fused duet nature, with the brutal truth of choice and human nature. People often call Hellfire the best Disney villain song, and it is, darker and more psychologically raw than anything that existed before and after. But it's not a standalone boast like Poor Unfortunate Souls or Be Prepared, it's an extension of Out There, the same I Want structure, but flipped. If Out There starts with Frollo's control and ends with Quasi's hope, then this reverses it. Quasi gets a short tender intro, and then Frollo gets the full-length torment that takes over. On the official soundtrack, it is listed as one complete track, not two ones that are completely separate, but one of the same. Different tones, yes, where gentle strings and bells are done for Quasi's hope, and heavy brass and Latin chants are done for Frollo's fire. But they are still one unbroken piece because the desires are inseparable. Quasi's Heaven's Light is pure, selfless love, where he's not claiming power or destiny, he's just seeing Esmeralda as salvation, humanity's light in the darkness. It's the I want of belonging through love. Then, without pause, it flips to Hellfire. This isn't I am evil villainy. It's who am I? Why do I feel this way? The same question Quasi asks in Longing, but twisted. Both songs are about this girl, about humanity, and not about personal power. Quasi sees her as Heaven's Light, pure hope, but Frollo sees her as temptation, sin that he cannot escape. The Latin choir, both the Confiteor in the middle, and of course them repeating Mea Culpa, weaves both through ironic prayers amid denial. The core difference here is of course choice. Frollo hates what he's doing, but chooses to do it anyway. He declares, be mine or she will burn, possessive lust or destruction. And when the guard enters to tell Frollo that she's gone, the light floods the building behind him. Thematically, it represents God's voice. A Damascus Road moment where it says, stop, come back, she's gone, don't do this. But Frollo screams in that moment quickly to get out, you idiot, and doubles down. She will be mine or she will burn. like pagans of old. He ignores the light and chooses the dark and seals his own downfall in that moment. These things parallel biblical truths profoundly, especially in the case of Saul, Paul, and Acts. Saul persecuted Christians, full of righteous hate, just like Frollo persecuting Romani people. But on the road to Damascus, a blinding light, Christ appears and says, "Saul, why do you persecute me?" And then after that, Saul chooses the light, becomes Paul transformed, and of course, saves himself. And in this sequence, you see that Frollo gets his light moment here, even without the animators probably even thinking or knowing that was intentional at all. It has all the recipes with the guard's interruption, the cathedral glow, but he chooses in this moment very quickly, like a snap of the fingers, to remain Saul, persecutor, tormentor, and the one who burns. Quasi, on the other hand, he actually chooses the Paul path, light, mercy, and redemption. And this sequence is beyond faith itself, the internal war that we all face, whether we knew it or not. For example, with scenes like this, we should bring up Romans 7:15-19. It captures this entire sequence perfectly, where Paul said, "I do not understand what I do, for I want to do what I do not do, but what I hate I do. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do. This I keep doing." Frollo hates his lust. It's not my fault. He knows it's sin, but chooses evil anyway. Sin living within him wins. But Quasi, on the other hand, desires good, love, and belonging, and chooses it despite pain. The song's beat drives this home. When Heaven's light ends, the Hellfire motif creeps in, low, brooding fanfare, and lingers through the whole entire film. The score's heart pulses with that dark rhythm because it is the choice we make. We bathe into the light or burn into the dark. Both songs echo that tune. It destroys Frollo, but Quasi rises above that. Where in this moment, you see that the riddle isn't who, labels and appearances, it's the what, the choices we make. Frollo chooses the tormentor, but Quasi chooses the savior. Humanity's nature is flawed, sinful, conflicted, but the choice tips the scale. Heaven's Light, Hellfire isn't just the best villain song, it's the film's soul, asking, what do you choose when the light shines and the fire burns? Where now to tie it all back in directly to Out There, Quasi's want song is just so simple, so humble. Just one day to be among the people, content to return to his tower afterward. And looking at this whole arc, the fused duets, the Monster Man riddle, and the choices between light and dark in Heaven's Light, Hellfire, it becomes far more tragic than any other I Want song in Disney history. I used to rank others higher because I love their flair, the Art Deco passion and Almost There, the empowering beat of How Far I'll Go, the enchanting wonder of Part of Your World. Those songs are great. They value hope on a level that inspires us to do what others can't see, to dream and chase dreams bigger than ourselves, but I was simply wrong to place them above this. At the time, I refused to fully see that pain in humanity that Hunchback confronted head on, where I just ignored it. I just couldn't stand to actually go into that nature because, you know, Disney songs are light and hopeful. But I see the truth now. I don't now because I see what is. Quasimodo is just simply the best of them all, for the most painful reasons. A monster on the surface, but an angel within, whose desires more than anything to be seen as human. And Frollo's view of the world isn't entirely wrong. People indeed treated Quasi as a monster at first, screaming, mocking, and rejecting, but how Frollo was just wrong to conclude that that is all humanity is, a disgusting pile of sin and irredeemable. Quasi represents the true nature that needs to be seen, the light of God that shines throughout deformity and through pain, through isolation and anything that defines us on our worst moments. The film's theme of divine light and redemption runs simply through Quasi's arc, and not Frollo's twisted nature. It's a distinct lens, hope amid suffering, and choice over damnation. And as everyone has said, no other Disney film has or will ever do this again. It forces us to think deeper than the surface stories, beyond individual dreams, into humanity itself. And that's why the reprise of The Bells of Notre Dame hits so hard. Clopin, the ever-chaotic neutral narrator who knows too much, picks up a child echoing the opening and sings that same verse. Again, like we just mentioned, the one that says what makes a monster and what makes a man. The shift from who to what is now complete, where Quasi is lifted by the crowd, the same crowd who once tormented him now are cheering and embracing him as a hero. Clopin answers through the story with Quasi's choice, kindness, bravery, and selflessness that makes him the man, while Frollo's cruelty, hypocrisy, and destruction makes him the monster. The bells ring triumphantly, not in judgment, but in celebration of the truth revealed. Quasi gets more than his one day out there, where he gets to belong, be accepted as is in a place amongst the people. His simple wish born out of tragedy is fulfilled through the film's darkest trial. The Hellfire motif fades and the bells motif soars. The song and the lyrics, raw from pain and hope, now transforms into triumph. to light the way. And this is why the Hunchback is better than many of your favorites, my own and your own. It's not just about the individual chasing a dream, it's about us, humanity's flaws on display, and our true capacity for monstrosity and grace, our choices that define everything. The music isn't just background, it's the masterpiece that carries truth and forces us to look inward. It is the darkness of our worst moments and the light of the best. And I'm all done. Goodbye.